Welcome to Healthy by George. This is my YouTube channel where I want to make it your go-to destination for all things about health and wellness. So I'm dedicated to providing you this information and engaging content that will inspire you and help us go on our wellness journey in the best way that we can. I want you to know that this is for informational purposes only, and it should not be considered as medical advice, nor does it have anything related to my employer. So it's always best for you to check with your own medical provider before you do anything that I recommend or for any medical treatments. So please join me, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And let's embark on this incredible journey to improve ourselves and our well-being. Hey, welcome back to Healthy by George. It's me, MC, back here to talk to you about one of the most important things to me is how can I continue to find kindness throughout my day? Kindness for myself and kindness for others. And let me tell you something, it is not easy when you live in New York City. I know one of the times that there's such an aggression that goes on in New York that it's so challenging. Even crossing the street, you get cars and taxis, they all want to get there before the light is even turned green. And it makes you want to hit the taxi with your hands or on top of the hood or with whatever you have in your hand because you're getting mad that this person isn't allowing you to wait to cross the street. So, but still, is that going to do anything for me if I hit that car with my hands? I mean, what does that make me do? So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out ways that I can be intentional about being kind because truthfully, I think we all have to put ourselves sometimes in other people's shoes. We don't know what's going on in their lives, what challenges they have, what difficulties they have, or I cannot understand why that person is suddenly being hateful or screaming or impatient. And so how do we take a deep breath and recognize that sometimes everybody, even ourselves, can get off on the wrong foot? And so how can we turn that around and bring kindness into the picture? Well, one of the things is that you can do a random act of kindness for another person. I know I've seen a lot of these wonderful videos on YouTube and TikTok where people have gone up to homeless people and brought them food for the day, or they've brought them a care package of just the simple necessities in a backpack. Or they've brought out and given them a new tent or a sleeping bag. And, even those things where you're doing it for those pay it forward, like people paying for someone's coffee behind them, or they've paid for somebody at the drive-in for the person behind them. It's those kind of random acts of kindness that suddenly make you feel good. They make you feel like, the world is generous and that there's a fluidity of goodness and generosity that surrounds our thinking and our feelings. So maybe random acts of kindness. Another thing too, which I struggle with, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from a large family and I interrupt people all the time when they're talking, is to practice active listening and attention. So often when we're listening to someone, we're ready to respond with our views, our thoughts, our ideas. But instead, I know in theater and when I've done improvisation, to do active listening is really a gift. It's a gift of kindness to the person who's sharing something with you. And it's also a gift for yourself because by sitting there actively listening, you're giving that person your whole attention. You're listening to what they're saying. You're getting the sense of energy and sensitivity of whatever they're expressing. And active listening really means that you could almost, in your own words, tell them back what they just shared with you. That's really a gift. And so it would be amazing for you to practice active listening. I know I've made this a goal for myself because so often, especially in the field that I work in with medicine, I want to jump in. I want to interrupt. I want to get my thought out there. But to actively listen takes myself a little bit of a challenge. I have to really let go of my inner thoughts of what I want to say Or I take the moment and just write down real quickly what came into my mind, instead of working so hard to get my point across. Another thing that you can think of doing is volunteering. Or I know, what was it? I was watching the Emmys when they showed Beef, the one that won all the Emmys recently, and how there was not a whole lot of gratitude going on. And in fact, when the husband of the main character in Beef said that maybe we should start our gratitude journal, she did not look thrilled to start a gratitude journal. And, the truth is we talk about gratitude journals and offering gratitude, but I think we really have to think about, what does that mean to us? What does gratitude really mean? And I think if we put it in the context of what do we have access to compared to maybe other countries or other people in other places, that's when you can start to find a way to have gratitude. I know with myself, I was talking to a friend of mine who I think is from Japan, and water is a big, big deal in Japan, and that they really are intentional about how they use their water. And that we're learning more and more that bottled water or having these little plastic bottles of water is not the best thing for both our world or even for our own cells, because of what's contained in the plastics is not really healthy for us. So, I wonder how you're going to incorporate more kindness into your life. How can you seek to be more kind? Because if we can be kind toward others, we can find a better way of being kind to ourselves as well. I know I struggle with this because, my own internal thoughts are not always kind. They're highly judgmental, they're critical, they're constantly talking. And so it's making an exercise to turn that inner critic off, to really sit and intentionally listen. Maybe intentionally listen to our own thoughts. I know for me, I love journaling. And journaling is an opportunity where you can kind of have that discussion between your critical thoughts and maybe that more loving, kind thinking person that exists in you. And you can become more aware of your own internal kind person. I know that's what I work to do every day, is how can I become more aware of that internal, kind, generous, compassionate person that I know that lives in me. And I know it lives in you too, because it's only through kindness and loving one another that we can create this beautiful world that is about generosity and being connected to this beautiful planet that we live on and all of the beautiful human beings that make up humanity. So join me in your journey of kindness and how it can influence your health, your mind, your body, and your mental well-being. So tell me in the comments below what you're doing to make kindness a priority in your life. Thank you so much for joining me here at Healthy by George. See you next time. So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.